Hey everyone, I thought I would just pop on real quick and let you know what we are keeping and what we are changing going into our second semester of second grade. If you follow me over on the blog, I actually have already shared a lot of this with you there, but I know some people prefer a video, so I'm going to kind of try and wrap up everything in one semester video for you. I do try and do week by week blogs. I'm a few weeks behind, but if you are looking for more detailed week by week, you know, how we kind of came upon these changes or want to see some of our projects and pictures and things like that, that's all over on the blog, anydayblessings.com, and on Facebook as well. So what I'm going to do in this video is just let you know what we're keeping, what we're not keeping at all, what we're keeping but with some changes. I'm also going to give you a sneak peek at some videos to come, and hopefully it'll be helpful to you. So for second grade, I did do a curriculum video reveal. I will link that below. And what I'm going to do in this video is just hold up some things. I don't have everything here, but I'm going to hold up some things and let you know we're keeping it or not. Before I get into that, I wanted to let you know that I did get a Master Books haul over Christmas break. I purchased some things that I will be showing to you kind of all in one like haul video, and then I'll be going piece by piece to do flip through so you can actually see inside. I will be referencing some of those things in this video because those are some of the things that we're going to be adding in the second semester. So I just kind of wanted to let you know if you hadn't heard those or wondered where those came from, it's something I picked up over Christmas break. I will also be doing a sort of get ready with me video. I got my hair kind of significantly cut over Christmas break, and some ladies were asking if I could still use my little rose pretties in my hair, and I can. So I will show you how that's working with my shorter hair. I have a little cheat sheet here, so this video isn't super long. So I'm just checking to see what I want to talk about first. I think I'll do the keepers first. What we are keeping going forward into our second semester. First up is music from Memoria Press. I always have trouble saying Memoria Press. I don't know why. But this is a keeper. This is such a simple exercise in giving your kids some music appreciation and basic terminology. They even get into what I would say upper elementary level stuff, and this is actually kindergarten through second grade, and there are things in here I know I didn't learn until I was in fifth grade. So definitely a keeper. We do that at lunchtime. That is a change from my original plan. I had planned to do it in the afternoon, but we found that it works good when my kids are just sitting down eating lunch to do our music and our art cards and poetry over lunch. So that's what we do. We're also keeping spelling. This is working out great. It's kind of seamless. We use the distance learning videos with it, and it's repetitive and very predictable. My son knows on Mondays he has a pretest, on Fridays he has a final test. He has dictionary day on Thursday, and he loves that. So it's just something that has just worked like clockwork, and I'd see no reason to change it. It's filling every need we have for spelling. This is what we've been doing for Bible time. Now, I don't do Bible as like part of school. We do what I call Bible Snuggles, and we just snuggle on the couch and watch the distance learning video lesson and then talk about it. Sometimes I'll bring out the workbook and we'll just like look over it and talk about it, but it's not like a worksheet that they do for schoolwork or anything like that. And that is going nicely. My children love seeing that teach morning, and they do a good job at bringing out Bible characters and doing little skits, and they have little puppets that they use. So it's very engaging for them first thing in the morning to be in the Word together. My son feels like it's a little easy, so we might get the third grade level next year. I was planning to get second grade, because this is first, and plan to get second grade, and we would just be a year behind where he's at. But I thought that might be best because we try and incorporate it with my daughter as well. But I might get his grade level and just get something separate for my daughter to do. I mean, maybe we won't do Bible together. I haven't decided. That's next year. But for this year, for the second semester, we are going to continue with Bible Truths 1, distance learning from BGU Press. We are also going to keep plugging through The Good and the Beautiful, Level 3 Handwriting. This, I have to say, I think the layout of this is what my son loves so much, because you could see the handwriting portion is just the top half of the page. So it looks very, it doesn't look very intimidating to him. It doesn't look like he has a whole page of handwriting to do. And what that has done is really, it has allowed him to give me his best. When he does write, he gives me his best. And so sometimes he draws a picture, sometimes he colors the picture, sometimes he finishes the picture, like half of it's drawn and he has to finish the other half. So we really like this. It is going to introduce some cursive towards the end of the year. And I haven't decided if I'm going to really have him do that or if we're going to wait till next year to do that. It's in there, so we'll probably have him do it, but it doesn't really do a good job of teaching the strokes. It just says, here's the cursive letter, trace it. You know, it doesn't really teach them the pencil strokes. So I'm probably going to pick up something different next year to actually teach him cursive, but I see no harm in letting him kind of play around with it this year at the end of the book. We're also keeping math, Singapore math, primary mathematics, U.S. edition. So this is 2A and we have 2B to come after it. And I actually picked up 3A because I wasn't sure if we were going to kind of need it towards the end of the year. We've only got about 10 pages left and we're done with 2A already. So we will be starting 2B whenever we're done with that, and 3A, if we get to it, great. If not, we'll have it ready for next year. So that's going great. My son loves the variety of activities. He tells me that math is fun now. I get smiles and giggles. We are not changing that. I will figure out how to teach it next year, because see, this year, okay, Heart of Dakota has it spoiled. You know, they have these little boxes in their guide that give like what you say and what you do to teach math, and that's it, you guys. I mean, there are like teacher's manuals, like pages and pages for one lesson. This is my math lesson every day. Now, it's not this exact book because actually 2A and 2B are in the Bigger Hearts guide from Heart of Dakota. So if I was to use the math in here, it would be 1A, 1B. So I actually have the bigger guide in the cupboard, and that's what I use for my math lessons every day. But they don't do that in Heart of Dakota after the bigger guide. So starting at 3A up, we're kind of on our own. They give us an assignment sheet, you know, so we have like a schedule of assignments to assign our students, but we don't have that little bit of teaching or activity to do. We have to go to the home instructor's guide or elsewhere to get that. So I'm kind of bummed about that. That's the one thing I wish that I had, because that has just made math so enjoyable for me, and I think then that translates to my son too, because I don't have a whole, you know, teacher's manual. It's just this little box. That's my math lesson. I love it. So we're definitely keeping that going forward, and we'll finish the year out with Singapore math. What else? My Story. I forgot to grab it. It's downstairs with the kiddos. But My Story, it's definitely a hit. We're definitely continuing that in the second semester. We will be making changes to it, but not because it's not working, but because my kids love it so much. We kind of want to make it last longer. We're getting it done in 3 days a week right now, and we kind of want to add to it a little bit. So that's part of my Master Books haul. It will be to go along with My Story. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my list here. Oh, science. Okay. We are keeping our science. We are making some adjustments to it to make it go a little quicker, though. I am noticing that my son doesn't really prefer to stay on one topic very long. So we are trying to go a little quicker, and I'm kind of rethinking my idea to do that year of one science, you know, the year of anatomy and physiology, the year of botany, the year of chemistry and physics, the year of earth science. You know, you just do that one science topic all year long. I don't know. He might just be anxious to get to chemistry and physics because he knows that's next for third grade. I actually had the books here previewing them, and he got a hold of them and was so excited. So he might just want to move to that topic. It might not be anything to do with you know, the course that we've picked for this year. He just might really want to move on to next year's, but he is starting to act a little disinterested. Like when we studied rocks, it was like, how many more lessons do we have about rocks, Mom? You know, he just was done with it. So I am moving the pace up a little bit, but overall we're very happy with Real Science Odyssey. I do wish, obviously, that there was biblical integration, but I've been using master books for that, and I will be sharing that in my master books haul, how we're going to kind of supplement our study of astronomy with some master books this year. So we are keeping Real Science Odyssey, but just kind of adjusting the timeline a little bit. Okay, so that's all the keepers. So now we're on to the changes, and the biggest change is probably the hardest one for me, because it really kind of means we're going to be breaking ties with Heart of Dakota for next year, and that's really sad for me to think about, because I love it. I love the guides. This is exactly how I would have wanted to do school, but I'm not doing school, so I have to take that into consideration as well. You know, I've been a big fan of moms, you know, considering how they teach and what makes sense to them, and that will translate through to their kids and address, their learning needs too. You know, I really do think that it kind of happens that way sometimes. I know there are kids with learning challenges and differences that, you really have to consider their needs first. But I think a lot of times if you have a child who's got no known learning issues, and they're keeping up academically with your curriculum that you've chosen, I think that it's okay to say, but this one's easier for me to teach, or this one's easier for me to understand, because I think a stressed out mama can be just as much of a hindrance to a kid learning as a curriculum that's not their style, or whatever. So that's for free. I just feel like I want Heart of Dakota to work, and so I really have tried to make it work for my son, and he just doesn't like it. So we're moving on probably next year to not using it. I don't want to say we won't be using it at all, but we won't be using it definitely as our spine. It's been our spine this year, but when I tell you about the changes we're making for second semester, you'll see it's kind of not really a spine anymore. So what is not working? Poetry did not work at all. We had to completely get rid of poetry, and I just read to them out of the other poem book that I bought. I read to them at lunchtime. That works much better. They enjoy it. I get smiles and giggles. So we're going with that. So poetry's gone. But that was just a little part. So I thought, okay, that's not so bad. And then story time went. He did not like the books. I mean, like, he was near tears asking me not to read him a story. I'm like, of all things to cry about. He just did not like them at all. So I went to Memoria Press and picked up their read aloud suggestions instant hit. So we are just sticking with Memoria Press going forward for their read aloud suggestions for grade 2. And I've even picked up a couple from grade 1 and grade 3 because, excuse me, we needed a couple substitutes because my library didn't have those books. So we kind of went between the grades. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So story time, I had to change. Then history started to go kaput. And I was like, okay, but history is like the heart of Dakota. So I can't ditch that, can I? I mean, that's what this program is. Weaving everything into history. Well, my son did not like the books chosen for Beyond, and sitting through those readings was painful for me because of how he disliked it. Like, I wasn't even enjoying the readings anymore because he was really, really just having a hard time with it. He wasn't learning, he wasn't retaining anything when I would just do the readings. So I'm going to show you this little box here. Do you see right here, reading through history? Or I think that's what it says, reading about history. Okay, so then there's a little assignment. So that's the book you would read. Okay, that's the pages you'd read. But then underneath it is a little paragraph called the key idea. And it's a little summary of the story. So I just decided about like week 10, I'm just going to read the summary and then do the activity, whether it's geography, an art project, a timeline activity, whatever it is. And I'm just going to call that our history time. I'm not going to read that other book. I'm just going to read the little summary, talk to my child about, that history event as well as I can, and then do the activity. And it worked incredibly well. He remembered just that little bit of information from day to day to day. He was carrying over it. In fact, today we actually did a summary lesson. It's kind of our first day back after Christmas break. And I was surprised at some of the details he remembered from those little summaries that I read. So what we do now, this is going forward for second semester, this is what we're going to be doing for history. We're going to be reading the little summaries, the little key ideas from the history block all together. So all 4 of them. There are 4 days of history reading and 1 day of Bible reading. And so we're going to read the 4 days from the history reading blocks, and I'm going to read those little key ideas all in one sitting. So it's like 4 tiny little paragraphs, and that's our history reading for the week. And what I'll do then is pick an activity after I read, and we do the activity, and then the next day on Tuesday we do the other activities, and that's it. We do 2 days worth of history, and it's working really well. I am not nearly as stressed trying to find a way to make this engaging or to make it work or to make him fit. I'm not trying to come up with ways to try and get him to listen to the stories. He knows it's going to be short and simple and just the facts, and that's what I'm learning about him. Is he's kind of a just give me the facts, stats, figures, statistics, bright pictures kind of guy. He doesn't want lots of stories and lots of reading, even if I'm doing the reading to him. I mean, it's different if he has to read it, right? But I mean, he just wants short little bits of information. So I know we're going to have to work past that, but for right now, I feel like I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with this. But I know we're going to have to get past that, and he's going to have to handle these longer readings, and he's going to have to handle, learning even when it's not his style. But I get no problems out of him in math, no problems in language arts, no problems in science, no problem any other subject area. It's only here where he won't sit and listen. He'll sit and listen to me read other things, just not history. So I'm just trying to find a way to get through history right now because it's second grade and it's okay. I love history. It's my favorite. So this is hard for me because I would want to do history every day. And all the activities and all the readings and everything. But I'm adjusting this for him, and you guys, it's been like a breath of fresh air. It's made this work for us. He's not putting a fight up when I tell him it's time for history. It just goes. So this is what we've done. And I'm trying to not feel bad about it because it really does mean Heart of Dakota isn't a fit for us anymore. And that just makes me sad personally. I really wanted to use this all the way through up to middle school. I wasn't sure if I was going to use it in high school, but I just thought, this all my planning's done. I just get Heart of Dakota all the way through middle school, and that's just not going to be. So at least not for now. We might come back to it later, but for the next couple years, this isn't going to be our fit. So we are still going to use My Story though with this. We're going to do My Story 3 days a week, and I will tell you in the next video how we're going to use My Story with the Master Books haul that we picked up. So that's what we're doing. I'm just really sad. I'm sorry, I kind of sound like all glum, but I'm just sad. I really wanted to do history this way. This is what I wanted, but it's not working for little boy. So and then the reading. Reading was a change too. I picked this up in October, BJU Press Reading 2. I already had the readers because someone gave those to me and the teacher's editions, but I didn't have the work text. It turns out I really didn't need the work text, but we do it mostly orally anyway. But he did not like the emerging readers. He did not want to read one book a week and then be done. He wanted to read little stories, like different each day. Like he wanted to finish a story and be done with it that day. He didn't want to like read little sections of a bigger story over a week. I get no trouble out of him reading the BJU Press readers. He'll just do it. But I got a lot of trouble out of him when I asked him to read the emerging readers. So this is a struggle. I'm curious if you ever had this. Like, I know we're in charge, we're the parents, we're giving them what we think they need and, what we think is best. But, at some point it's okay to say, they just don't like this, you know, and I can find something else that meets my goal for them that doesn't elicit this type of reaction. You know, why don't I just go with that? Or do I make the point, no, mommy said this is the book we're reading. And I don't feel like we're there yet where I have to do that. So we are changing. We already have. We've been in BGU, like I said, since October. But that was a change from our initial plan to use emerging readers. I am able to get him to read then. If I do it like every 3 weeks, I throw one in and say, hey, why don't we do this one this time? And it's kind of like something new and different. And then we go back to the reader. I am able to get him to read a couple of the emerging readers that way. So we've been doing that. So we've got a couple of them in there. But I'm shocked that those didn't take. I really thought he would have liked those books. I thought he would have liked reading whole books, like, you know, but he doesn't. So he likes BJU Press. He likes the drawings in the story. He likes the brevity of the stories. So that's what we're doing going forward in semester 2. I see I'm already past 20 minutes, and I really didn't want to be that long, but I think I kind of shared a little more of my heart with you than I intended when it comes to the changes we've made, because, you know, I think sometimes picking curriculum can be very personal for mom, because we envision our child thriving and loving it, and when it doesn't happen that way, it kind of, I don't want to say it hurts our feelings, but like it is disappointing, because we had a lot of aspirations and excitement about the way things were going to work out, and they didn't work out that way. So I'm just going to wrap it up here. I could share more about some of the things that we're changing, but they're just minor little changes, and you can catch those in time over future videos. So I will wrap this up now. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will certainly reply as I'm able. And make sure you tune in for the Master Books haul to get ready with me, and the flip throughs of all our new books. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.